Hello and welcome to another episode of In Conversation. Friends, we all have heard about Amritsari Kulcha, the Patiala Peg, the Golden Temple at Amritsar, and even Himachali apples. But what does it take to do business there? And who better to answer than our guests today who are here with us, Mr. Vineet Arora, who's the branch banking head for Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Union Territory of Chandigarh, and parts of Haryana, and also his senior colleagues who are here with us, Mr. Jatinder Gupta, Mr. Lalit Batra, Mr. Jajit Singh Katyal, and Mr. Iqbal Singh Guliani. A warm welcome to you, Viniji, and your senior colleagues. Thank you for taking time out and talking to us. My first question, as you were getting ready to come to the show, and I was just having a chat with your colleagues, I realized that I'm talking to the five of you who together bring 100 years of banking experience at the bank. Average of 20 years in the bank, so that makes it 100. That's a fantastic repository of experience that we have with us here. How, in your opinion, do you assess the progress made in the states that come under your purview?
Thank you, Rajiv, and hello to everyone. We have four very senior colleagues, our zonal heads, Mr. Iqbal Singh Guliani, Mr. Jatinder Gupta, Mr. Jajit Katyal, Mr. Lalit Batra. We all are managing with other circle heads this region. I must tell you, I'm very happy the way we have progressed. Believe me, Rajiv, when I joined this bank about 20 years back, we only had 8 branches in our entire region. Now we have 722 branches. So when I see the progress over the years, now we have 464 branches in the state of Punjab only. And I'm proud to say we have branch almost in every nook and corner, every tehsil, every district we are covering, and lot many branches we are there. In Haryana also, in our geography, which I am managing, about 11 districts of Haryana, we have 170 branches. In Chandigarh, we have 21 branches. In Himachal Pradesh, we have 67 branches. Besides that, we have a BC points also. We have recently tied up with CSC, as you are aware, and we are also launching the BC also, which is also banking outlet. And I'm proud to say in Punjab, we already have more than 500 BC outlets, and still we are going ahead and opening more and more. Himachal Pradesh, we have 340, Haryana, we have 643, and Chandigarh, we have 3. And these are being further expanded. So when I see the entire network, I think our customers can get our all services across the length and breadth of our geography through our digital channels, our branches, our BC points. And this is also helping us in improving our market share, both in assets and liabilities.
So, do you all feel 20 years young or 20 years old as far as the bank is concerned?
So we all feel very young as of now also, because daily we have to do new things. We are so charged up, so motivated in this organization, because we have a lot of things to do on daily basis. Whether it's an NPS, whether it's a customer acquisition, whether it's assets, everything actually keeps us on toes and also improving a market share going further down the line. So I would say 20 years has gone by. Believe me, it is just things that only yesterday I have joined. And every time we are feeling younger than what we have been earlier, because the saying also is anybody who keeps learning maybe at 20 or 80 stays young. Anybody who stops learning is old. We all are learning, and I think we all are now young also. Can you take us through some of the subtleties and the nuances of doing business in not only, let's say, in Punjab, but even in Himachal, in Chandigarh, and even the parts of Haryana that is under you? Rajiv, I tell you, yes, we have different states, different geographies. The kind of the business nuances is different in Punjab. Now, Haryana is almost same. Punjab and Haryana, I would say, by and large, same. We have an industrial setup also. We have an agriculture setup also. Himachal is a different geography, which is more primarily towards the agriculture and not much of the industry, but in some Badi area industry there.
So if we look at the state of Punjab, we go deep and understand the pockets of liquidity in the state, and we look at what are the opportunities for business that we have. So for example, at Ludhiana, we have a lot of hosiery and steel industry. Mandi Gobindgarh has steel. Amritsar has, textile and tourism. Jalandhar has a lot of medical and sports. And further deep down, if we go and we see a lot of agrarian economy, and in smaller pockets like Kapurthala, we have potato and watermelon. In Hoshiarpur, we have popular and so on and so forth. We identify the ecosystem and each one of them behave very differently. So even in the current scenario, and if you're asking for nuances or subtleties, we understand that in the given COVID times, each industry behaved differently. Hosiery had a big turmoil and problem because of labor, but parallelly, for example, at Jalandhar, where there is medical and other things, they have flourished and boomed. Agrarian economy wherever, whether it was potato or rice or wheat, it did not get impacted at all on account of the current COVID scenarios. Likewise, in the normal flow of business also, fluctuation in pricing or the people's mentality in the state of Punjab to move to overseas countries like Canada and all are the certain subtle, that we have the nuances in the state. But how we have overcome them is very interesting. As a collaborative approach amongst all business units, we deep dive into every business segment, understand what is the flow of money, what are the linked ancillary businesses, what are the product offerings, and in a collaborative manner, jointly working with every business vertical, whether it is EEG, whether it is BBG, whether it is wholesale banking operations, branch banking put together, so on and so forth. We take help of credit and others to kind of design new products for these industries. We are happy to share that in many segments and pockets, we are doing pretty well. And as a joint working, we are able to get large market shares and are going leaps and bounds. So much so, I could not be out of place to say that in certain segments, we have become super specialists of the complete flow of money. And that is how we are taking participation in every aspect of business opportunity that resides in this area.
Is the definition of rural different in Punjab vis-a-vis, let's say, states like UP, Bihar, or any other states that we have in India?
Yeah, I would say customer profile, yes, is slightly different. I would say I have also managed Uttarakhand and UP parts also. Haryana, Punjab are rural areas are more affluent, no doubt there is. And customer behavior, customer demand is very different of these swanky cars, other things also. They have a very different lifestyle. Himachal, like Jasheer said, is an apple belt primarily into horticulture. But I would tell you, when I come to digital channels, believe me, I find everywhere is same digital now. Everywhere people customer preferences are changing towards digital channels. And I mean, find when Kamal was talking about the COVID scenario, I think same I would tell, despite COVID, this rural economy has been continuing as it is. Believe me, there's no difference or no impact on this.
So what we see here in Punjab and Haryana, the rural economy and Himachal rural economy, which I compare, they are totally different. In Punjab, if we talk about the rural economy, we talk about the Rabi crop and the Kharif crop. There are two main occupation of the farmers here. There is a very big economy behind them. But in Himachal, we have only one crop cycle. That also is apple in most part of the upper part of Shimla. So as a strategy, what we did in the bank was that out of 67 branches in Himachal, as a strategy, we opened 32 branches which were in the rural apple belt of Himachal Pradesh. So apple belt, again, apple is a very unorganized sector. Unlike what we see in Punjab and Haryana, there is an MSP, there is a government procurement of both wheat and rice. It is a big procurement. These two states are called the food ball of the country. But in Himachal, there is only apple. So this crop, apple, is basically sold directly to the big industries, like they go and buy the apple, and then they supply to the local mandis all over the country. So as a bank, we went there with a strategy. We got technology involved there. So because in Himachal, there is one more big challenge, which is the distance and the connectivity, which is again both the other northern states which we are comparing, both Haryana and Himachal. The connectivity is very good. Himachal, the connectivity is not there. The branches are remote, the villages are remote, the towns are very remote. So we have to use technology a lot. We use technology a lot. We got KGC product in the year 2010. That was also total totally technology based. For the first time in the bank, we used scanners to, there was no physical movement of files at that, during that time, all the files were being moved for other products. But KGC was the first product where the scanners were used. So Himachal is pretty different. Besides agriculture, if I say the other two segments which Himachal is known for is both tourism and the religious tourism.
Yes, I think as Vineet mentioned, the behavior of business in Haryana, Punjab, and Himachal for rural market is almost same. What strategy we adopted? We did two things, very simple steps: understanding what is the market and understanding the need of a customer, and converting that need into the opportunity, in a business opportunity. I remember when we opened and expanded in Punjab, we realize Punjab is agrarian market. If we need to grow, we need to get a chain of a business. Either we start from a rural area to a government, to the semi-urban, then to urban, then to the state government. As discussed, as briefed by Vineet and briefed by Jasjeet also, Punjab is an agrarian and 85 to 95% of a crop is paddy and wheat, and that is on MSP. We realize there are three chains. One is the government, APMCs, who procure the wheat, and second is the Artias, and third is the farmer. When we expanded in Punjab, we did very simple step. We went to the village. Our branch manager, our bank staff, they used to sit in a chopal and used to interact with the farmers and the sarpanches there, understanding what is the need, what kind of banking they are doing, where their families settle. We realized there are two, three simple requirements they have. One, they need one account for their day-to-day routine expenses and probably getting a money transfer from either APMCs or from Artia. Second, they need a crop loan, and we expanded well. We did a lot of lawn mahotsav, a lot of activities in rural areas. From last 8-10 years, we remember we used to visit every village in the catchment of a branch 7 to 8 times in a month. And we opened their normal accounts. And with the help of our agri lending team, we reached every house and we given them a crop loan. That was a chain which was well captured. Today, we have quite a good market share in that field. Then coming to Artia, there's a second segment, second stage of that business. We realize this Artia have a very different needs. Their need is to get a money in an off season so that they can lend to the farmer, and they have a surplus money in the season when they get money from the government for the procurement arranged by them. We arrange the CC limit for them. Today, we as a bank own more than 40% of a market share. Now, getting these two chain linked with the bank, business become easy. It become more comfortable for us. And for a government, we partnered with them for providing a digital solution. When we clubbed everything, business start looking easy for us.
Just one question. If there was going to be one learning or one change in strategy after the lockdown, what would it be?
I must tell you, earlier we never thought that we can also operate banking from home also. But the way things have evolved in pre-COVID and after COVID times, we now feel very good even operating at home, and our efficiency levels are same which were earlier.
See, post-COVID, obviously there were a lot of challenges at the initial part after the first lockdown in March. We had to reorient ourselves. Branches had to be reoriented. So we put, first of all, we put some, people. We said that only 30% of the people will come to the branches. Other people were working from home. So we ensured that work from home, we gave them CRM on their mobiles, so that all sales resources can put in their, leads and their interactions on mobile sitting at home. Also for the, cluster and above, we, evolved on this VPNs so that they can log in from their home and, do all approvals and other related work from home. So also, going forward, customer interactions, we were able to do it either on the phones or we conducted webinars for them. So yes, this evolved. And the one thing that which came post-COVID was digital, digital, and digital. So you have to stay thinking on your feet and be digital.
Earlier, I asked about, say, the professional lesson learned from the lockdown. Any personal lesson that you have learned from the lockdown, which you will carry over?
Yeah, Surendraji, personal lesson. There are also a lot of personal lessons have been learned. We have come to know what is the meaning of life now. We were all very used to other things, materialistic things, but we know materialistic things are for the temporary only. The real thing is your own inner happiness, your family, how you behave with people. That is more important. So I think it's an inner realization also. When we introspect and retrospect, it's inner realization what we have learned and the way the things have changed for the betterment. I think they are also very much good thing. Nothing is bad. I personally feel whatever good or bad God does, it is for the good.
Thank you so much, Vinitji. And with that, we come to an end. I would like to thank you and your senior colleagues who have joined and spent time with us here. Indeed, it's been a fascinating conversation, talking to you, understanding the subtleties, the nuances, the customer behavior, the dialects across states like Punjab, Haryana, Himachal. And we have really learned and acquired more knowledge about the region that you are handling. Thank you so much for the time. And with that, it's time to say goodbye. Until the next episode, stay safe.